Peace. Good morning. Today is Friday, the last day of the week. For those who live by the week, those who live by the weekend, today is the very last day of the week. And good morning to you. You're alive to see this side of life. You're alive to see this side of light. So if you are watching me right now, I pray that your day today will be a day that you will remember. I would pray that today is the day of a life that you will begin to live based on your discipline. So the words that I want you to pay attention to today is something that you can actually utilize for yourself. So I'm going to give you my blessings. I'm going to give you my thanks. I'm going to give you my appreciation. I'm going to give all that to you because you're worthy of it. So thank you. And I appreciate you. For everybody that's watching on YouTube, I thank you and I appreciate you as well. Those that are listening on the podcast, I 100% thank you for listening. For my Facebook family, I always had love for you because you're here, you're consistent. But let's talk about something. I want you to put yourself in this space. Let me see who's here. Good morning, Miss Salinas. Good morning, Miss Latricia. So let's put yourself in this space. Imagine standing in a hallway and you have two doors. It is a dark and cold hallway, but at the end of the hallway, short hallway, you see two doors. One door has the word tomorrow on it, and the other door has the word today on it. So the things that you do today or the things that you push off for tomorrow, that's the decision that you're going to have to make. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is impose discipline in your life. So we're going to go like we always do. We're going into the definition of the words. And then from there, we're going to go into our open and candid conversation like we always have. So we're going into imposing discipline on your life. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick while we do it like that. All right. So here we go. Impose discipline on your life. So we're going to go through the definitions, and the definitions have a contrast. So the definition of impose is to establish something as a rule to be obeyed or to force the acceptance of something. The contrast here is red over white. Is to establish as a rule or the acceptance of it. So to establish as a rule or the acceptance of it, or something to be obeyed to force, because we're talking about discipline here. I don't care if you grew up in a household that there were no discipline at all. But remember, you're standing in front of this doorway, and these two doors, one of them says today and the other one says tomorrow. So to establish a rule or to accept, or the acceptance of something. And then the second definition of impose is to take advantage of someone or demanding their attention or commitment. But now we're talking about you. Impose. I am. Now, taking advantage or demanding attention and commitment to yourself. Take advantage or demand attention or commitment, because when you're standing at that door, you have to take advantage of, you're going to either deal with it today, or you're going to be the person that wants to, I want to push it off. I'll deal with it tomorrow. But it demands your attention today. But what type of advantage are you going to take? It demands your commitment today. But are you committed to doing it? Are you committed to doing it right now, or will you deny yourself and push it off until tomorrow? So now we're going into the discipline, which is the practice of training people to obey rules or a code or behavior, using punishment to correct disobedience. But we're going into the contrast of red over white, which is the practice of obeying rules or code or behavior. So now, if you're saying that impose is to take advantage or demand, to take advantage by demanding attention or commitment, but don't you understand that when you're taking advantage or commitment of yourself, then you have to practice it, because discipline is a practice. Discipline is not something that you can buy in Walmart, or discipline is something that you can just watch on YouTube and expect, or have the expectations of now that you're going to be disciplined. It is a practice. And once you begin to practice that, you have to obey the rules that you have now governed on what you feel the outcome should be based on your code of behavior. I mean, what are your behaviors? What are you adopting? What advantages are you setting up or setting yourself up for? And the last thing I want you to understand before we get into it is that discipline is a choice. Discipline is a choice. So what do you choose to do? It is so much of a choice to where even those, especially for me, those that have been in the military, you have some undisciplined people in the military, but they're doing it because that is a choice that they choose to make. But if you choose to have a different type of result, then you have to understand that you have to choose a different type of action. I want to lose 20 pounds. So what disciplines do you have in place? What codes of behavior do you have with yourself? What type of advantages are you creating for yourself in order for you to get to that end result? So do you walk through the doors of today, or are you going to wait and try to put it off to tomorrow? Because an excuse is nothing but a pretty lie. An excuse is a lie dressed up with a bow tie, got a cummerbund on, a hat, but you want to look at the excuse and try to make it make sense to you, but you're not looking at it as the choices that you're making. What code of behavior are you living by that is going to get you to lose the 20 pounds? What code of ethics are you developing that is going to get you to that point? Because don't you know and understand that discipline is the key used for today that will get you to the tomorrow door? But you got too many people that want to go through the door of tomorrow, but they've never paid attention to the things that they're doing today. The things that you do today could develop what tomorrow may look like for you based off of your choices that you make today. So your discipline then becomes the road to your tomorrow. But it is something that you develop in your right now. It is advantages that you create in your right now. It is things that you obey in your today that will get you to see what tomorrow may look like for you. Make the right choices. Get to the results and get after it. Because when you get after it, there's no holding back for you. When you take risk, There's no holding back for you. When you develop and understand that it's me versus me, there's no holding back for you, because when you understand that it's me versus me and I have to take a risk, then I have to impose discipline on myself, because it's no longer somebody else's responsibility. It is my responsibility to be disciplined if I want to get the results that I desire for myself. I'm not just speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself too. Because if there's a end state that I want to accomplish, then I must look at what type of order do I have in my life, or what type of disciplines do I have in my right now that's going to get me to my tomorrow. Tomorrow, they say, is not promised, but the only thing that is truly promised is death. If you want to live, then you have to understand that there is a learning process that you will have to get to, and then there is a repeated process that has to be duplicated, because when you duplicate the discipline, you can duplicate your success. Success will always leave clues for you. Success will always leave breadcrumbs to you to look back and say, okay, I did this like this, I did this like that. Okay, if I do this again, let me see how it works. Oh, wow, that worked. So now let me do this again. But oftentimes we forget the process. And when we forget the process, we're no longer acknowledging the progress that we've done. Celebrate your small victories, because when you celebrate the small victories, don't you know that develops and enhances the victorious lifestyle that you can have? It also enhances the victorious mind state or victorious mindset that you can place yourself in, because mindset is a choice. What are you setting up in your mind to do over and over again? Because when you develop that discipline, that is a mindset that you set up for your thoughts to do it repeatedly over and over again. That allows you to take that key of discipline to unlock that door to your potential, to open it up in order for you to see the open and wide array of things that you can do, because you already have the skill set. Don't make the excuse that it can't be done, but look at what you have presently, and I guarantee you tomorrow can be obtained. But what are you doing right now to obtain it? What are you obeying right now that will get you to that point? Now, it may be harder for someone to say, oh, discipline is hard. You doggone right, discipline is hard. But can you do it over and over again? Can you obey yourself? You have people that is hard for them to obey other people, but you don't even want to obey yourself. Don't point the finger at, oh, they're harsh, oh, they're mean, but you're being mean to yourself. The outcome is not attainable because the choices that you're making for yourself, or the choices that you've made to yourself, or the lies that you're telling to yourself, or the dressing up of the excuses that you're giving for yourself. There will not be an obedience that you will have. If they're saying obedience is better than sacrifice, what sacrifices are you making today that will get you through the day, that will prepare you for tomorrow? Don't you know walking through the doors of today will still get you to the doors of tomorrow? But when you're walking through the doors of tomorrow, you will never pay attention to what you have right now, because you too busy worried about what somebody else is going to say, or you too busy focused on what tomorrow looks like, that you've lost your way in the path of your today. Discipline for me is the same as it is for you. It's still 10 letters for me, so it's still 10 letters for you. So therefore, we have the same opportunity to be disciplined. But what choices are you making that is going to be beneficial, or what code of behavior do you have internally that will have an external result? Whoever this is for today, just get after it. Just understand that you may fall, but you don't have to stay down there. You may trip, but you don't have to fall. I'm going to say that again. You may fall, but you do not have to stay down there. You may trip, but you don't have to fall. You may stumble, but you don't have to commit yourself to the act of stumbling, because take that stumble, just like you ever tripped over a curb and you played it off and you started running. That's the same thing that you can do. You may have gotten tripped up on something, but use that momentum to take you forward, to run after your dreams, to run after your destiny. Because don't you know and understand that motivation is the activation of your motives? You see how that works? Motivation and activation. Motivate is the combination of your motives being activated. Activate your proper motives. Activate your why, because your motives is really your why. Your what you're doing. What's your motive behind that? Activate that motive and get to it. Because the things that you desire for yourself, it can come to pass. But be disciplined when the activation begins. Because discipline is a choice. But what do you choose to do? Choose today. Choose ye this day. Because it will still get you to tomorrow. But what are you doing today? All right. Y'all share this with someone. Because discipline is not easy. It's not easy for everyone. It's not easy at all. It is a practice. Discipline is a practice. So let's practice discipline. Let's keep doing it over and over again. You're not always going to get it right, but you do have the ability to adjust. So adjust it. Adjust in your discipline. Adjust in your walk. Adjust in how you communicate. Adjust in your thought process. Adjust in the nature of yourself. Adjust in the codes of behavior that you have set out for yourself. Adjust within your behaviors. Adjust in how you obey. Adjust in your obedience. Adjust in the nature of you. Adjust in how nurturing you are. Because as you make these adjustments, you will get stronger. And when you understand that you're getting stronger, look at it for what it is. Those are your disciplines that you have set out for yourself. If it's in you to wake up in the morning to go work out, establish that discipline. Lay your clothes out the next day so you don't have to make up an excuse in the morning. I can't find my shirt. I can't find my shoes. I don't know what I'm going to use. Set that out. Prepare that. Prepare yourself for that. So then when you do it, it becomes a part of a routine, because it now becomes a part of your own internal culture. And then it becomes a part of your internal behavior. So those behaviors can be a part of your discipline, and you can duplicate that process and do it over and over again. Because if that works out for you, what do you think that you can do for another part of your life when you get after it and you set yourself up for it? But you first have to acknowledge that there is something that you need to work on. And when you work on it, get to it. Y'all be blessed. Peace.